Okay, I really wasn't even sure if I was going to make this video because I'm not sure if I can pull this off, but anyhow, I found a pair of hose wire clamp pliers, and I think he's in Australia or somewheres, and he's dealt with eBay, and sometimes he'll ship one out, and it costs a lot to ship it from there, a lot more than China. I wonder why. But and if it gets lost, you know, the buyer, I mean the seller takes the loss, and he won't ship anymore. But I would be willing to pay his price, because I watched this video on YouTube, and here's a picture of the pliers, and I'm really, I like the way he's got it set up, and I cannot find a pair to buy that's like that. So what I have decided to do is to try to make my own pliers like his, close to it, you know, so they'll work like that. And okay, wire wrap clamps. I think that would be a good title for trying to explain what I'm doing here. I made this one. This is for a hose clamp, wire hose clamp, yeah. And it works good, as you can see right here. It did a good job, and it does clamp it real good. I mean, it really buries it in there. Now this did good, but I need a single wrap clamp, and I've looked at some videos on pliers and stuff, and different ones made. The looked like the easiest one to make. That we've got plenty of pliers, and half the time pliers don't do a good job anyhow. They're doable, but anyhow, so they're good to alter it into a different tool. And I've looked at one video. Let me cover one of these up. I've looked at a video of a guy made one like this. I'll see if I can find a picture off of his channel and put it at the top. But he cut it up here on both sides, cut it here, and then took the jaws here and twisted it to the other side and welded it back in on each piece. Cut each jaw, two jaws, and welded them back in a different angle. And basically that angle is like this here. This right here. So this is basically what you'd have to do. After you cut the jaws, you got to weld it facing back the opposite direction. The whole idea here is the pivot point has to change from the crisscross here to this being all on one side of the pivot point, which is the bolt. So this jaw has got to be welded, cut and welded back over here facing this away. It's got to stay on this side of the handle, like that. This has got to stay on the same side as the handle. And so I cut one out of paper just to see if how well it would work, and popped a hole in it here. And if I put the eraser down through there, now if I'm tightening something around an object here, then these jaws would be pulled in close like that. And you wrap your wire around there, and then you attach it to one side of the plier head here, and then you go around it, you attach it to one side of the wire head here, jaw, and then you attach the other one to the other side of the wire head here. And then you can squeeze here, and it will pull it apart, and then you twist it like that to throw your twist in there. And then you can twist it again, put 2 or 3 twists in it, and then lay your twist down like that, and you got it snug. And that's what I was going to do with these. I'm still probably going to do that. But I come up with another plan. I come up with this plan here, which is basically doing the same thing but cutting it in a different place. As you can see, it's pretty much doing the same thing. You got that pivot point, which is where the hole is here, and you got to get everything mounted on the same side. If you notice, it's kind of got like a bird's flying wing here. See here? And for this to work as that tool, that's what's got to happen. And so I come up with a different plan on cutting the pliers further down here. Now, in order to do this, it's got to be spread apart, and but in order to do this, this is going to be on the wrong angle. I have got to change the angle like this. So what I got to do is go out there and cut this little piece of metal out of here, and then match it on the other side here, doing the same thing. Then both pieces of the handle will be facing in the opposite direction, which will be doing something like this here. And then you put your bolt back in there. And in return, you will have what you want. When you pull the handles, it will stretch the wire out to where you could put your twist in it and tighten it up. And I think this is going to be a little easier than the first plan here. I think it'll look a little bit, but I may go ahead and make both of them, I'm not sure. And then I ordered these pliers, which is a twisty type plier thing too. Let me see if I can demonstrate these. There's pros and cons about these here that I do and don't like. I can't get it unlocked. Oh, it is unlocked. Okay. But now I don't have a way to really demonstrate this in here. This has got to be your wire. 2 ends of the wire come up here, and then you'll clamp it down here, and then slide this slider back to hold that clamp in place. Then as this is held around the pipe, whatever you're trying to wire up, then you pull on just this part here. You let go of all this. You let go of that, and you pull this knob, and it will twist like that. But there's no way to lock this down here to where you can hold it, because if you let go of it, it's going to untwist. So what you got to do is you got to reach down here and grab this, and then let go of the knob for where you can control your device. So that's why I really do like this setup here better, really. So that's what I'm fixing to do. I'm fixing to go out there we're going to go out there and we're going to cut these little notches out. I'm going to bevel this edge here where I can get a good weld in there. And then we're going to stick the, once we do both halves, we're going to stick the bolt in there and give it a try. And if that works out good, I might or might not do this one to be shaped like this. We'll see how well this one does. I think this is going to be the more attractive, the more useful, easier to make right here. This is pretty much where I'm at right now. I've got these ground back, both of them, and you know, I've got these cut and setting the placement in there. Now it gives me enough room here to where, find a corner. It'll give me enough depth in here to where I can weld this in and get a good strong bond to it. And here also. I've got to figure out how I'm going to hold this to weld it. I may have to clamp it to this table because I don't need these moving around. I'll do it one at a time, but I don't need this to move around. And these angles here, I've got to make sure they match here, even when I'm welding. So I may have to clamp it to here to weld it. I can't use the vise because it would be hard to, the way the vise is set up. So let me get all that set up and then we'll weld it. Okay, it may be kind of hard to tell what I've done here, but the pliers have got this little high spot here on it, and I've got to find something flat like this here, so I had to put the high spot here hanging off the table and clamp it down. And then I had to get this flat, this part here, the handle part, real flat, where it will line up on the bottom. So I put it on here. But at the same time, I don't want this rubber part that's on the handle. I'm going to try to salvage this. So what I'm going to do is put this water rag, this wet rag, on top of it, because I got to put a real penetrating weld in here. And then I got to do the second one. Okay, here's pretty much where I'm at. I've ground my welds down. They're not real pretty, but I had to weld it twice. I missed the gap. I don't know how I did it, but I did miss the gap and had to weld it twice. But, and my handles are not really super in line like I would like for them to be, because I don't really have a jig set up to try to make this correct. But I'm happy with it. It moves. It works just like I want. I'm not through. Now what we got to do is grind the little slit here. The little slit here with the grinder for the wire to slide in. And that's what we're doing now. I'm going to put it, and I got to try to find a way to hold this just right, because I want these to be in line here. Always wear safety stuff. Well, the wire lays in there. Now I don't know if it's going to be enough for both strands or one strand. I've got to, this is kind of like, you got to play along to see what you got to do. But they are in line with each other, that's good. Now what I got to do, I can do one or two things. I can drill a hole over here for the wire to go in, which is what I'd really like to do. And then put a tab or a bolt or something over here, a short one, welded on there for the wire to wrap around. And then we got to test try it. I tried drilling it, but this metal really hard. This is that casing type metal, and I couldn't drill it. There was no way, no how. Yeah, right off the movies. Remember what movie that's on? No way, no how. But I did weld the other side, and I got to clean it up. And I've just put a rod. This is a some kind of tool type metal. It's strong metal. But I got to weld the other side now. That's what I'm fixing to do. Okay, I've got some baling wire here. Figured I'd just try something simple instead of stainless. My pliers are not perfect. So this one here should have leaned back a little bit more. I could probably take the torch and heat it up, bend it back. But if I had a jig set up to do these, then everything would be a lot straighter and everything would be uniform. Looks like this one needs to come down a little bit too. But anyhow, disregarding all that, we're going to try this baling wire here. I'm going to wrap it around there twice. That. Cut off a chunk. Okay. Squeeze these together. They got a crisscross like this here. And get another angle here. They got a crisscross here like that. I'm gonna hold them like that to make it where they won't try to close up. They are kind of clumsy a little bit. I got to find the groove down there. I got to wrap this wire at least 1 or 2 turns around that one. Take this wire, find the groove under there, and wrap this wire around there 1 or 2 times. And then try to get them to stay in the groove. Well, it looks like I'm going to need to leave a little slack because they're tight. If this is rubber, it might be different. So I need to loosen up on one of them. I got to have enough slack to be able to turn it. So I'm starting over. This is round 2. That in the groove. That one's in the groove right there. Go around this one here twice. Make sure it's in the groove underneath. And then squeeze and turn. There's 2 turns. I didn't want to turn it too much, it may break. This is just baling wire. It's a low. Oh, see, it did break. It's on there. It's on there, but it broke. There's the piece that broke off. But it is on there. And maybe with a little practice, more higher quality wire, I may end up having to open this gap here up just a little bit. Be careful, I don't want it too much. But as you can see, it did work. I turned 2 twists and then it broke off. I done 1 twist, it might would have worked. All right, let's try it with one twist. And see. Okay, I'm going around it twice. 1. I think that's it. Yeah, that's it right there. I got to leave a little slack in it. I didn't got excited. This tool will come in handy. Oh, I guess got a crisscross. You got a crisscross. It's already starting the first little twist. Hold it down in here where it stays still. Be good if it had a little spring in there. Alright, I am up off the pipe about a 1/2 inch. My thumb will fit under there. Give it a little slack. I'm wrapping the first little nodule here. I've got the wire in the gap underneath. I'm wrapping the other little nodule. Yeah, I think that gap needs to be a little wider underneath. Okay, here we go. I'm making 1 squeeze and 1 twist. Okay, just 1 twist, not 2. And if it'd be better wire, I could probably do 2. And it's on there. Now I can pull this up and finish twisting it. There it is. There it is. So if I was going to make changes to it, I need to widen this gap here up a little bit more. Not much, but just a little more to make it easier for the wire to fit in there. And I may end up heating that nodule there up and pulling it down. It's not a problem the way it is. It's okay. Tighten that nut up a little bit. But yeah, it's good. It's all good. And I still got the rubber on here. This part here heated up. Not much I can do about that. I can cut that off, I guess. Clean it up. But yeah, it's definitely doable. I'm happy with it. Well, I finally got done with it. I guess when you're painting something, that means you're through. And that's what I've done. I painted them right here. And I've got these aligned here. I had to take the torch and heat it up a little bit. I had to protect the plastic here with a wet rag. And I ended up heating both of them up, protecting this with a rag, wet rag, and heating them up and bending them a little bit in the vise. And they're aligned. They look good. I hate that this is a little off. But if I was going to make a second pair of these, I would make a jig to where these would be in the right spot. And I was probably a little excited about making them, so I kind of threw it together too. Shame on me. But also, I wanted to share with you, besides painting them orange, or whatever color, I throw a little bit of red paint on there. I put red paint on all of my tools. See these right here? You're going to see this in the next video. See, here's a little bit of red paint. These are crimpers for crimping metal. I'll show you in the next video. But I throw a little bit of red paint on everything. A little bit of red paint there. The reason for this is if somebody comes along and grabs it, I'll know if I see it or I question them about it and they show me and say, oh, this is theirs. Yeah, I bought this yesterday. And I said, look at that red paint. I put that red paint on all my tools. I mean all my tools. But anyhow, I also painted this one too. It's finished. As you can see, a little bit of red paint. And yeah, they both work real good. And I've got another different style I'm fixing to do. I'll make a video on it. But I just wanted to leave this with you. Talk to you later. Bye. Okay guys, that's it for this video. I hope you learned something, because I know I did. It was a lot of fun. I feel good that I was able to accomplish my project. And I know I'll be able to use that tool more in the future, because I've already got some plans of things I need to attach with wires. I don't want to weld it. I don't want to use the zip ties, because they may break on this other project. So I definitely want to use wire. And that wire would help secure it and tighten it a little bit more. So I'm real pleased with it. Get out there, make you something, feel good about your accomplishments, and I'll talk at you later in the next video. Bye.
Viewing the video, or giving us a like, or subscribing makes us want to bring on a little more entertainment. Don't you agree?